How would you feel if you invested $350,000 worth of your life savings to buy a lot to build your dream house, only to find out that you cannot build on it at all? Not just your dream house, you cannot build anything on it at all. Something like this happened to a couple in Florida. And I decided to share this article with you so that we can learn from their mistakes in hopes to never make them. And if you happen to be in a situation similar to this couple, then at least I hope that this episode will provide you some solutions to what you can do to resolve your problem. Welcome to Nora Rise. I created this channel to share my investing journey in real estate, the stock market, precious metals, and small businesses. Let's get started. And here's the article, courtesy of Yahoo Finance, written by MoneyWise. All of our dreams are out of the window. Florida couple paid $350,000 for an empty lot they can't build on. And here's why. Hattie Levy and her husband, who owns a construction company, thought they were making an investment in their Fort Lauderdale, Florida neighborhood. But after spending $350,000 on an empty lot, they're now facing a real estate nightmare. Initially advertised as suitable for new residential construction, the couple bought the lot with plans to build 2 or 3 houses. So we're not just talking about their dream home. We're talking about investment per se. 2 to 3 houses. They really wanted to maximize that land. And this is something that they share with a real estate agent. However, shortly after the purchase, they discover a significant challenge. The lot was landlocked. What is that? A land that is landlocked simply means that it's a piece of land that has no access to public roads. And the only way to access those public roads is by going through private property, meaning someone else's property. The only road that led to their property was owned by the existing homes that surround it and not available for public use. A detail that was never disclosed by the seller or real estate agent. This left them with no legal access to their lot. You see, when I read something like this, I get very upset because let's say, yes, the seller didn't do them right, but what about the real estate agent? Like, at least in the state of New York, real estate agents are required to disclose that type of information. And even if they didn't know, apparently to my knowledge, they're supposed to know that. They're supposed to do research and understand what goes into that lot. And that's why I always emphasize the importance of education. And that's why I created this channel. The unforeseen obstacle not only stalled their dreams of development, but also resulted in a legal battle against the seller and the real estate agents. I mean, after something like that, I completely understand. Okay, now we got the facts. So what can this couple do? And if you were in this case, what can you do? Well, according to this article, there's no firm road access solution. The Levies were clear about their development plans before they bought the lot, and the seller made an effort to ensure that the land could be developed. The seller's attorney filed a document releasing the lot from a covenant that prevented new construction before the couple went through it with the sale. Levy also sent several emails to the city asking about developing on the property and even went in person to get more information. This is why you should always trust but verify. The seller filing a document releasing the lot from a covenant, it's only one piece of the equation. We still don't know if the lot had any other restrictions. But after the purchase, Levy said she received an email from the Fort Lauderdale zoning department saying that the city requires access to a public right-of-way and that it appears the lot might be unbuildable. I mean, imagine getting that piece of news after you pay $350,000. That is a lot of money. You can buy a brand new house with that much money. And this is what the city had to say. The city might be a resource used by a buyer when doing their due diligence about the property's development potential. Understanding the city's zoning regulations, including permitted uses and development standards, is often part of a purchaser's due diligence, meaning they're kind of like washing their hands off. And honestly, they're kind of right. I mean, it is the buyer's responsibility to do the right due diligence before they put their money on something. They said it right here. Ultimately, it is up to the purchaser to use the information available to make a final decision. With no solution in sight, the Levies also tried negotiating with their neighbors to purchase part of the property road to gain access to the lot. While none of them went for this idea, given their concern over flood risk, one neighbor was willing to offer the couple a small strip of land from their property. That way, they now own a portion of land that reaches a public street, but it is not clear if it's enough for the city. Now, here's the part we're all been waiting for. how to avoid similar issues when purchasing a property. The levies situation raises important questions for prospective buyers. How could such a large oversight occur? And I ask myself the same thing because we're talking about professionals here in the equation. They have a construction company. So my expectation is that if they have a construction company, that this is not their first rodeo. So they have done this over and over again. And in a way, they could have had some level of understanding of what was happening. Let's say they didn't, and that's fine. But did they hire a power team? Did they involve real estate attorneys to look into that lot? My assumption is that they didn't. Hiring professionals before the purchase can make a huge difference. Yes, I agree. That's why you have to invest good money in your power team. While the levies did ask about the development potential, it is not clear if they hire a real estate attorney or a land surveyor before closing. These professionals help ensure you understand exactly what you're purchasing and uncover any potential challenges, such as lack of access and construction permissions. Now, for those who don't know, some states require that you have an attorney at closing. And some states, like Florida, don't require a real estate attorney for you to close on the purchase of real estate. Call it a piece of land or call it a property. And believe it or not, having an attorney representing you can make a huge difference because these professionals will look into the title of the property, will look into a survey. They will request a survey and see if there's anything attached to the property. For those who don't know, a survey is basically a map that details what belongs to you. And not only that, it also details any issues that it might have, like the elevation of the property, anything that you need to know about a piece of land. And if the levies would have invested in a survey, they probably would have seen that there was a landlocked highlighted in the map. Another thing you have to do in order to prevent something like this, according to this article, is to have a deeper understanding of local zoning and easement laws, because understanding them would have shed some light on any of the restrictions that you might encounter when you invest in a piece of land to build on. Had the levies known to ask about an easement or known the lot was landlocked from a survey, they might have been able to carve out a legal access point beforehand or backed out of the purchase before it was too late. And the final tip, buyers should always consider purchasing title insurance. This is something that I emphasize in our channel over and over again. While most companies require this, the levies purchased the land outright, meaning there was no lending involved, so chances are they purchased it cash. And when you purchase real estate cash, there's usually a lot of due diligence that you tend to not do because you simply don't have the experience, right? So there's a high chance that they did not consider this option. A title insurance protects against any limitation on the title, including liens and sometimes easement challenges, depending on the context. Now, what would you do in a situation like this? Do you happen to have information that we all don't know? If so, please do share that with all of us so we can learn from you. And while I still have you here, feel free to check out this video that's going to help you complement everything you just learned today. See you in the next video. Bye-bye.